Hi, in this video I am going to talk about Reiki and the nature beings. So welcome, my name is Fay Johnstone. You'll find more about me at fayjohnston.com. You can read my books, Plant Spirit Reiki, Energy Healing with the Elements of Nature, and also Plants That Speak, Souls That Sing. So I've been practicing Reiki for 20 years, and Reiki has led me to a beautiful opening with meeting nature beings and the spirit of plants. So in my practice, I like to incorporate as much as I possibly can the support of the natural world. And so when I talk about the support of the natural world, I'm not just talking about the physical. Just like we have guardian angels and spirit guides, Mother Earth also has her helpers. So in the unseen realms, there are beautiful beings that connect with the spiritual and energetic side of nature, and each of them have a role to play in caretaking the earth, and each of them are corresponding to a specific element. For example, air or fire or water or the earth itself. So when we're out in nature, when we're following a plant path, when we're on this path of discovery with working with the natural world and wanting to know about plant medicines or being intuitively guided, it's a really important part of the work to include the nature beings, to open to this possibility that there are nature beings out there who also like to receive that beautiful high vibration of your Reiki. So one of the first things that we can do in our practice is, when we're outside in nature, is to start to awaken, start to place our awareness on the fact that there are other beings in the landscape with us. Yes, we can physically see the trees and the plants around us and the earth, which helps make them very lovely allies for us. But when we start to connect with the invisible worlds of the nature beings, we can really begin to have a deeper connection and a deeper understanding of our roles here, as earth keepers, as light workers on this earth. So one of the first things to do is to, when you're out in nature, sit and open your awareness. Become aware that, it's not just you and the plants and the earth here and your guides. There's actually an unseen world which is watching you in the wings. So spend as much time as you like out in nature, but thinking, who is observing you? What is observing you? And what are you open to? And what sort of offering can you give in exchange as a way of showing that you are willing, that you are hoping to connect, that you are wanting to make contact and work in collaboration with these beings? So many of the nature beings, we don't talk about them. They are the things of fairy tales, aren't they now? And I don't blame them, because they've been persecuted. And we as humans, we don't really involve them anymore with our way of life. We don't consult the fairy folk. Well, they do in some countries actually, but certainly not really here in the UK where I am. We don't necessarily involve them in our traditions and our customs anymore. And so these beautiful beings are just really in the background, holding their vibration and doing the specific job and their task that they have set out to be. And it's not surprising really that many of them, or we sometimes feel that they don't want to connect with us, because as humans, as a race, we're kind of destroying their habitat. We're undoing the good work that they do to keep the earth beautiful and safe. And just imagine like the mermaids, for example. Stories of sailors meeting these lovely mer people. We don't hear those stories anymore, do we? And it's not really surprising, because our oceans are really polluted. They're dying. And so these mer people are getting further and further away from our society. So what we want to do is we want to kind of befriend them if we want their support with our practice. And I do this by being outside in nature or leaving offerings or simply sitting in nature as I am now and asking Reiki to flow through me for the highest good of all beings, and having the intention that the nature beings that are in my green space, that are in my garden or wherever it is that I am, will receive this beautiful vibration of Reiki. And I often use the connection symbol. So if you're level 2 Reiki, you'll understand what I mean by that. I often use that symbol together with the harmony symbol to help me make that connection, to help me bridge our physical world to their energetic world, in the unseen realms. And so that's a really good starting point, to offer Reiki while you're out in nature and make it known. I sometimes will speak out loud and I'll say hello if I feel like I'm being watched. And we're really opening all of our senses here. And again, this comes back to you really knowing yourself, and where do you feel is your strength in knowing? Is it your third eye? Is it that intuition? Is it a gut knowing that you have? Do you pick up emotions easily? Are you someone who just receives downloads? Are you sensitive to different energy shifts? This is all part of knowing our landscape. And if we start to understand and know our landscape and come into connection with its energies, this is when we can really feel rooted, and then we can really help the well-being of our communities, because we are really landing in that landscape and we can be beaming Reiki out and working in partnership with what is needed in that landscape. So for me, a part of this puzzle is connecting with these unseen nature beings. And we can leave physical offerings. So for example, if I'm having a celebration or a ceremony in my garden, I might leave a little offering of, of wine or elderberry cordial, or something that I've created and crafted, or a tiny bit of cake or some fruits, whatever I feel appropriate or feel drawn to. And we're just really trying to make friends. We're trying to befriend these beautiful beings who are pretty much hiding from us. And we want, with the beautiful love and light of Reiki in our hearts and shining through us, we just want to say, you know what, we're sorry. Let's work together, because when we work together, we can really put our energies to good use. And we know that there's a role for us, just as each of the nature beings will have its specific role in caretaking the earth. There might be a nature being, for example, that is overseeing a nature being, for example, that is overseeing the well-being of your garden and all the plants in your garden, or specifically a local park or a beautiful guardian spirit that's looking after a particular beach or a forest where you live. So they all have their different jobs and roles to play. Some might be confined to a specific area, like a waterway or a garden, for example. And so to really be holistically helping raise the vibration and the well-being of our local green spaces, or green spaces further afield, or our communities, it really will help greatly on your path to reach out to connect with the spirits of the land where you are, and those nature beings that are working behind the scenes to help the vibration, the energetic vibration of where you are living. So this is I see it as part of our Reiki journey, as part of our way of helping to spread the light and hold that light in our communities, not just to help the creatures and the plants that are in these green spaces, but actually to raise that vibration of the humans and who are living in those green spaces and in those communities too. So take the first step as you're outside. Just simply start to acknowledge that there are these unseen beings out there, and through your heart, asking Reiki to flow, notice what you think's observing you, and notice where you feel drawn to. Notice where you feel are magical places that you want to sit and spend time in. Notice those places that feel good to be in, that make your heart sing. Notice those places, not so much, I don't really like it here. But know that also those places will need your healing, they will need your Reiki hands. So this is all part and parcel of understanding as we learn and grow our inner landscape, we're understanding the outer landscape, the outer energies that we are interacting with as we go through life. And ultimately we want to raise, we want to bring in this beautiful high vibration, this frequency of love and light, so that it can actually all fit together more harmoniously, and the nature beings will be able to help us with that. So just acknowledging their presence, and as I said before, beam some Reiki out there. You can leave an offering, you can leave a flower, you can share out loud how beautiful the landscape is, so that they can feel that appreciation in your heart. But also turn on your Reiki hands to beam Reiki out into the landscape, into the unseen, with the intention that it's going to connect with those nature beings. And over time you will start to feel the difference. You might not necessarily see anything with your human eyes, but you will feel in your heart, and you will notice subtle shifts that will be happening in the landscape that surrounds you. It's a beautiful dance, it's a beautiful journey. None of this comes overnight. It's just a way of following the breadcrumbs and opening that heart and allowing yourself to be guided. So have fun. If you want a copy, a sample of the book, then download it in the link below, because this has got many more ideas about how to connect with the healing elements of nature within your Reiki practice.